Hi everyone, it's Di here from Diane. Happy New Year to you all, and let's start the year off on a lovely card. This time I'm making a beautiful birthday card using new products out of the new mini catalogue that came out on the 3rd of January this year, 2020. This is so gorgeous. I love it. I love this flower. It's come out absolutely gorgeous. And this time we're going to make one in gorgeous grape and purple posy. But let me show you the catalogue. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. There we go. What a lovely looking catalogue. Let's pop this in here out of the way a moment. And we're going to, this card here has been made using the papers from page 25, which are the Peaceful Poppies Designer Series paper. And we're using the Peaceful Moment bundle. I haven't got the other one yet. That's all on my wish list. So that's the one we're going to, this one was made with. And with one we're going to be making with is out of, let's put this catalogue over here, out of the Celebration catalogue. The Celebration catalogue runs from the 3rd of January to the 31st of March 2020, and we are going to use the papers from the Lily Impressions Designer Series paper, which if you put in a $90 order, you can pick this paper up for free. How beautiful is that, and how clever. These beautiful papers and lots of other free items in this lovely little mini catalogue, well, brochure. So that's the paper we're going to be using. This is the card we're going to be making. So let me tell you all the parts we're going to need. Alright, so let's start. So we're going to need a card base that measures 5 7/8 by 8 1/4. And we're going to score that at 4 1/8, but we'll do that together in a minute. We need a Designer Series paper layer which measures 5 7/8 by 2 1/16, or 2 inches if you don't want to mess around with that. That's my label, which I'll show you in a moment. I got my label and my flowers out of the one piece of card that measures 5 3/4 inches by 6 inches. So we got that and all our flowers. We need a couple of pieces of scrap for our sentiment here. These are my scrap pieces, but only because I haven't got much, but you only need a piece about 2 by 2. We need another piece, and this is the purple posy for our other part of our flowers, which measures 5 1/2 by 4 3/4. We need for our for our stamens, we need a piece that measures 3 1/2 by 1 1/4. For our leaves, we need 2 pieces that measure 4 1/2 by 3 3/4 in contrasting colours for our flowers, leaves, sorry. And then for our insert, we need a piece that measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8 and 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. So this is from the Layering Labels dies that come with the Free as a Bird, and that's the second size. So this is the beautiful stamp set we're using called Peaceful Moments. It's got some beautiful sayings on here, like life is better with a friend like you. Always remember, you shouldn't have but I'm glad you did. Happy birthday, which we're using. Congratulations. With deepest sympathy, thinking of you with all my heart. Thank you. I can't read these. These are the moments we'll look back on with joy, and wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. And that's the other one we're going to be using. And that comes with this beautiful die set. So we'll be using these outside dies here to make the solid part of our flower, and these two here which give you the contrast for the flower, along with our stamens. And we're going to be using these 2 leaves together and these 2 leaves together. So it's only a few pieces that we're not going to be using. So let's get on and let's start. And as you know, I always do all my die cutting beforehand, because as you can see, I did my label I've done all my flowers and my leaves, but I have one flower and one leaf that we'll glue together so you know, so you can see how they go together. So we might do that first. That will give them time to dry. So with your flower you have 3 pieces. You see, you've got your solid part of your flower, you have your outline that sits on top and your stamen, and with your leaves you have your solid part and your part that sits on top. So we will glue these together so that they'll have time to dry. So I have a liquid glue here that I like to use, only because this one, if you go a bit over the edge, it doesn't matter because it doesn't dry sticky. But that's just me. So we will stick our leaf on top of our leaf, and this will have time to dry, ready for when we need it. Sorry if my head's in the screen, no it's not. So that's our leaf, and then with our flower we go right around the edge here. Oops. Sorry, I'm not talking while I'm doing this bit very much. I know I'm a chatterbox. Okay, so that one sits on top of that flower, and they fit on there beautifully. These dies are absolutely gorgeous. So that sits on top of there, and then we'll put our little stamens on here. And I'm using the black ones because these are supposed to be poppies, in case you didn't know what flower they are. Okay, so that's our flowers done. Let's pop them over on the side there to dry, and we will carry on with the rest of our card. Let's pop the lid on the top of that. Get in there. Okay, so we need our main card, which measures, what did I say, 5 7/8 by 8 1/4, and we're going to score that together on the board. On the long side we're going to score this at 4 1/8 mark. That's all the scoring we're going to do today. How gorgeous is that? Because we've not, except for the part of cutting out the flowers and gluing them together, this card goes together very quick and easy. So we're going to fold and burnish our card, and we're going to put all our bits and pieces over here. Oops, my glue fell over. So I pop these over here, those there, and then I know where I'm going. Okay, so we're going to put our piece of designer paper through the middle here like so. This paper is the impressions, and it's just, it looks like, I call it Monet look, so which is impressionist, I guess. So I'm going to glue this through the centre of the front of my card. And you can either mark it or you can eyeball it. I like to just eyeball it, and it does go end to end. Okay, so that's on the front there, and then with our label we're going to pop this up on some dimensions, and we are going to, that's my phone, just going to pop this up on dimensions and pop this through the middle as well. Oops, let's pull them all off in the bin, and that's just going to sit in the centre here of the card. That's the outside of the card done except for the flowers. So we're going to start on the inside. We've got some glue stuck to my fingers, and we're going to get our white piece of card, and we're going to stamp our wishing you every happiness on this special day, which I guess you could use for a lovely wedding card as well. And that's, I love this font, it's gorgeous. So that's, I don't know what I've got stuck on my finger. It's annoying me, excuse me. There we go. And now we're going to just glue this to our layer. And it's got a beautiful edge right around it. So pop that onto there. And we can pop that into the centre of the card then. Oops. And that's the centre of our card done. Well, it will be once I get it in there. There we go, all into the centre. And that's just so simple and fresh looking on the inside of the card. So we'll go back to our flowers now. So we'll bring our flowers in because they're all nice and dry, and we will work out where we want them. So I like to put mine about, let's see what I did with this one. Yep, about like that is where I put them before, so that they sat on an angle like that. So I put a bit of glue on the front of this one and glued it to, where did I glue it to? About there. And then I did the same on this one, bit of glue, and I glued this one to around here. Once I've done that, I worked out where we're going to put these on here, so that I knew that I didn't put my dimensions up too high. So we're going to put some more dimensions on these, but we're not putting them close to the edges on the other flowers, the half flowers. So I'm one of these, I like my things to sit up nice and flat. I don't like them so that they fall down, so I do use a lot of dimensions. That's why I keep running out. Never mind. Keep somebody in a job. Okay, so we're going to pop this on here, about there, like so. And then we'll bring in our leaves and work out where we want to put them. So we'd like a leaf about there and about here and another one about here. So when you're happy with where you've put them, we will then stick them down. So we'll pop a bit of glue on the back of that one and pop him back in there nice and neatly, and the same with this one too. A bit more glue on the back of this one, pop him back in there. Oops. Yep. And then this one, well, we're going to need to put a bit of glue down a fair bit of the flower, the leaf, and we're going to pop him in here. And that will dry nice and clear, so we don't need to worry about that. No, where's my pin? Get in there. So that's our card. And now let's do our sentiment. So with our sentiment, we're going to use the happy birthday. So we're going to stamp our happy birthday in the centre of our piece of paper. Well, we probably didn't need to put it right in the centre. I'll probably have to trim some off to get this in here nicely. Yes, what about that? So we're going to pop this in here in our 1.5 inch punch, and we have punched him out nicely, and we're going to punch out a 1 3/4 inch circle as well. So let's put that over there, and then we're going to just glue these. Oh, we've needed a bit more glue here, didn't we? I need to glue these together. And pop the lid in there. Glue that one. Oh, I dropped it on the floor. Oh dear. Hang on. Oh. Unlike bread, it didn't land butter side down. It landed with the butter side up. So that was really clever and good. Okay, so that's our happy birthday, and we're going to pop him on here, so we only need a couple of dimensions on this edge here so that they can sit. So get two of these and we'll pop one here and here. And he can sit just beautifully on that corner there like so. And there is our card. How gorgeous does that look in that purple? I love it. And there's our pink one. Pink and green, which are my two favourite colours. And so that is our card for today. And it actually wasn't a very long card at all. The worst part, as I say, is actually cutting all these pieces out and then gluing them together, which if you do them in advance, the rest of the card goes together gorgeously. So I hope you've enjoyed today's card, and I will see you again next week. And as I said before, Happy New Year. See you all. Bye for now.